guys, welcome back to Preview Alliance. It's Sarah
and Whitney.
Okay, so this is Toolbox Christmas Holiday Edition.
That's right. And here we are in our festive shirts.
We're so ready for this. Okay, we know you moms love the Toolbox episodes just like we do because we need tools like builders to navigate and handle it. So
that's right.
Whitney,
Let's do this.
I'm going to give you some situations. We're going to talk through some things, and you're going to give us tools.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, we're at a family event.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, what we're doing.
All
Feeling
the things.
very overwhelmed.
Yeah, fair enough.
How can we ground ourselves in a closed space, lots of family, lots of opinions? What's some good grounding techniques we can talk about?
So one thing, always that deep breathing, kind of in through the nose, out through the mouth. We don't have to make a big dramatic of, it's just...
Hey, if you want to, and be like, hey, by the way, this is how you all should learn to deep breathe.
Exactly. Let me demonstrate for y'all.
As you stand and carve the turkey.
That's right.
Hey.
So just in through the nose, out through the mouth. You know, and another thing, you can always just dart into the restroom if you need to, splash water on your face, get that on your pulse points on your wrist if you need to. Hopefully there's some soap in the bathroom to do our tactile grounding, so you can even just breathe in the scent of soap.
Yes.
Chances are there's a Christmas candle somewhere, so even getting closer to a candle and breathing in that scent.
Ice, make yourself a drink.
Yes, absolutely.
Take a little
something
ice
cold.
Quickly. You can put it on the wrist.
That's right.
No one's got to know it.
Exactly. No one has to know that. And even with that, we can do tactile grounding with taste of a drink, or even the texture of, are we going to chew a piece of ice?
Yeah.
Different things like that. Let's work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Let's not forget our tactile grounding.
Yes.
Because you may have some intrusive thoughts at this, but chances are there's so much overstimulation.
It's a lot.
That the intrusive thought really doesn't even have a chance to pop in. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And we feel more scattered than we do having an intrusive thought.
Right.
So that's where the tactile is going to be a little bit more helpful.
What's it?
Not saying a grounding thought wouldn't be, but I think tactile might help ground a little bit better in that moment.
What if you're you're feeling yourself getting really anxious?
Okay, so like the rapid heartbeat possibly.
Like now we're physically there, right?
Okay, so if that's the case, again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Always remember that if you're getting the hot flashes, rapid heartbeat, like Sarah mentioned, get you some ice. Or if they have drinks in a cooler, grab a bottle of water, Coke can, whatever. I need you to really get that on the back of your neck stat.
And what does that do? Does that just shock your body into being or brings you back?
Kind of. It's almost like you're distracting your brain from the anxiety feelings.
Okay.
So it's almost like a reset for the central nervous system.
Okay.
If you want to think about it like that. Now, when we do something cold on a pulse point, so on the front of our neck, on that artery there, or on our wrist, that initiates more of the vagal response.
Okay. And vagal's going to slow us down.
That's going to take just a little bit of that edge off on the rapid heartbeat.
Okay.
Because I've even noticed sometimes when I've had a rapid heartbeat, I'll look at my Fitbit to see what my heart rate is. My heart rate's not that high. So it is an anxious perception of my heart rate being high.
Not just actually.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And something that you taught me too is just take a second and if I can. And if you have kids, this is a great excuse.
Yeah.
I'm just going to step outside for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to take the baby out for fresh air for a second.
Yes.
That could be for you to walk even for around the house for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
To hum. Humming helps me. You've taught me this. Kind of hum, just to even just break that environment.
Now I do know last year's when I did this, because my 2-year-old was just a little over a year then, very much still on that nap schedule. So I dropped my older daughter and my husband off at his brother's house because it was smack at lunchtime, which was nap time.
As it is for most.
And so I drove the younger one around for a little bit so she could actually get a decent nap in.
Yeah. So
and that's okay.
That's good for you. Take that moment.
Or if you've got the stroller with you, say, you know what, baby's getting sleepy. I'm just going to go stroll around with her for a little bit.
And I think having a code word, we've talked about this in the hospital when you're giving birth, have a code word with your partner, with your sports person, and say, when you're ready to leave.
Yeah.
Or you need someone to tap in. It could be even with the kids. If you're feeling overwhelmed because we're at a different environment, it's safety, you're overwhelmed, questions, whatever. Having that code word, without being get over here, I need help, or having a meltdown.
Without yelling SOS.
Say a word.
Yeah.
Say,
Absolutely.
I need an extra serving of this. Could you grab that for me? Whatever. So have a code word.
Absolutely.
Ground yourself. Now, sometimes as moms during holidays, we feel like we're failing.
Yeah.
And that's because social media makes you feel that way. Holiday movies make you feel that way. You have an expectation, perception in your mind.
Yes.
Everybody's got it together.
Self-imposed high expectation.
Let's talk some positive affirmations.
So one thing that I would encourage you to do is that you are your child's mom for a reason. You are going to give your child the best Christmas that you can.
Yes.
Because you're doing everything that you can to make it the best Christmas for them.
Right.
That you are making memories with them.
Yeah.
So especially, because let's just be real, the economy is awful right now. Everything is so expensive right now. And again, my older daughter, she's a January baby. I've said that several times. So we personally don't go big at Christmas because she has a birthday 3 weeks later. Yeah. And we have 3 sets of grandparents that give to her. Extended aunts and uncles. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a whole lot. So we do not have the Facebook, Instagram decked out from wall to wall with toys because it's very unnecessary for our family. And if you do that, good. I want you to do that because that is how you celebrate.
Right.
Personally, I cannot handle that amount of stuff. Plus whatever we get from family and having a birthday 3 weeks down the road.
Because let's talk about sensory overload with that. Because even seeing so much gifts, so much visually, you're more smells than you're used to. More lights, more sounds.
All the things.
So again, with that sensory regulation, it's important to tell moms, what can you kind of do, maybe even to start your day to kind of like release that nervous system jitteriness like that I feel.
So especially if you wake up feeling that way, as much as we want to, don't grab your phone.
Okay. Just don't.
Don't grab your phone. That blue light's actually going to trigger your brain a little bit more.
And comparison factor and perfectionism.
Yes.
And
because we're probably going to scroll first thing. Okay.
Why do we do that?
Because... Okay, here's a soapbox.
Because I do it.
Here's a soapbox for another day. But in a nutshell, social media is made to be addictive.
Yeah. And especially, I think, and I know I'm going to sound crazy saying this, but I know you're going to make me not sound crazy. So I have so much to do, but I go on Instagram. Why?
Yes. Okay. So very good reason for that. And then we'll come back to the positive affirmations. So that is almost like a freeze response.
Yes.
Because we're overwhelmed with a list of 20 things that we need to do today.
Wrap 50 presents, go to 5 classroom parties.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, okay, I have all these things that I need to do. And we look at the big picture. We look at everything that has to be done. We feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do it all now. So we already feel overwhelmed. We already feel defeated. I'm going to just go to Instagram because, it'll be a quick little break for my brain. So we're using a defense mechanism of avoidance, but we're also in a freeze state because we are in such a heightened level of anxiety that our brain shuts down.
You make me feel a lot better that there's a reason to this.
Oh, absolutely there is.
And so moms, we're not alone.
Nope,
so in those positive affirmations that apparently I need now.
So one thing to kind of go back to the presents, I would say focus more on the memories you make with your child than the money you spend. They don't know what a toy costs.
It's how they feel.
Yes.
It's mom's present. Or presence is there.
Yes.
Presence is present.
Exactly. So, I mean, you can go to the dollar store and buy, a Barbie from there, and it might be $10 cheaper than going to Walmart even.
Right.
Your kid doesn't know.
No.
Your kid does not know that.
And you know that, and you need to let that go.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So, focus on you are making memories with your child, not spending money.
Oh, I love that. Okay, and we talked about social media, which apparently I need a break from, and how it lied to you. Let's just hit on a couple truths that moms need to know about that, because everybody's going to be posting meet Santa. I'll be guilty of it because, I'll do it. Yeah. But it's like there's what's behind that Santa picture, I guarantee, is sweat, tears, maybe blood from someone.
Possibly. Can't rule it out.
No, you can't. Especially with my littlest. But
poor baby James.
I think it's just, you have to look at social media in a way of like, it's going to lie to you.
Oh, absolutely. Social media is a highlight reel.
Comparison factor.
I mean, even influencers who it seems like their houses are in perfect shape, that they're clean, organized, what have you. You don't see what is like 6 inches behind them of a dumpster fire of a house. And I say that because my house is a dumpster fire too. just as guilty as anybody else.
And it's 5 minutes maybe of their day.
Exactly. Maybe.
And
it's the highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to show you the breaking down.
No.
And I certainly kind of broke, I guess, the social media highlight reel over the past couple of weeks because, to my listeners, my grandfather had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very open about my grief with that.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And moms want that
People
real.
need to know my life is not together.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay that my life is not together because it will not always feel like this.
No.
So don't let what other people's social media post and highlight reels, these snapshots of their life, dictate how you feel about your life.
Or if you're a good mom or not.
Exactly.
Because we're not going to compare ourselves to this. And behind each photo, there's things you do not know about that mom.
Agreed.
And there's a
you
lot
don't know
of
the struggle that got there.
Mm-mm. And I think mental health is extremely important to talk about during the holidays. That's why we're giving you guys the truth. We're giving you tools. Okay, let's go to mom guilt during holidays. And this kind of comes back with the social media.
Yeah.
Let's not compare.
Yeah.
Let's give us permission to be humans.
Yes. Well, here's the thing too. Your kids are not comparing you to their friend's mom.
Only you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that your 5-year-old doesn't have social media and isn't looking at all that stuff.
No.
Now, if you have preteen teenagers, it could be a little bit harder because they are going to be on social most likely. So maybe they are going to see this decked out room. But that's when you have a real conversation with them.
Yeah.
About what you can and cannot manage.
Yeah. Reality.
That's okay.
And two, the mom guilt is like, just, you put too much pressure on ourselves. I do it myself. I'm like, this has to be the most magical Christmas or this and that. And it's like we said, show up for your kids.
Yeah. Be there.
That's
memories over money.
That's so true. How to reframe negative thoughts, because I get negative thoughts just when I'm really stressed. Apparently, if I'm not freezing looking at Instagram. So tell us how to reframe.
Okay, so reframing, again, I feel like it's just so easy to go back to the whole, well, they're doing X, Y, and Z for their child. You know, let's just say someone buys their kids a dozen toys for Santa alone to put out by the tree. And like our family, Santa does 3 in the stocking. And
that's a set boundary. And guess what? Your kids are going to be like, that's
awesome. It works for us. And so now, okay, telling on myself here, and I do it every year. I've got to start breaking this cycle in my brain, but it takes work. Every Christmas, I know, okay, 3 gifts from Santa plus the stocking, and then 3 gifts from us because logically I know we don't need all these things. We're going to get blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But it never fails. I'll be scrolling and I'm like, man, I really wish we could give them this like great, awesome, like huge Christmas, blah, 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 blah. And I have to remind myself, okay, but you're also not going to go into debt for Christmas. You know, you do this every year as far as having the limits. And after Christmas, you're always so grateful that you had these limits in place.
Right.
Because again, the truckload of other things that comes in from other family members. So reframe and say, it's not that you're not doing enough. It's you're doing what you can.
And you're doing the best you can.
Yes. You're sticking to your personal boundaries.
Which is very important.
Whether that's like a core moral belief or like my husband, he'll tell you he gets overwhelmed with too much toys in the house.
I do
Fair
too.
Enough.
Because I'm like, where is this going to go?
Exactly.
Especially the million pieces ones.
Exactly.
That I'm going to step on and I'm going to injure myself. And or baby James is going to swallow and try to kill himself. Like,
yes.
I get triggered. I'm triggered now.
Yeah. And so remind yourself that you're abiding by your own personal boundaries. And, you know, again, that could be a financial thing. It could be just an overstimulation kind of thing. It could fall into any category. You are honoring your own personal boundaries, which we're going to loop this into a little bit of a deeper psychological thing here. You're honoring your inner child when you do that because you're protecting them from those feelings of overwhelmed.
And we're going to, in a next episode, kind of talk about why inner child in the holidays can be tough.
Oh, yeah.
So hang on. We'll get more into that because I know you guys are going, yeah, I see it.
Uh-huh.
But so when, like Whitney said, And let's be honest, when you're on your phone, when you're on TV, when you're listening to the radio, what is the whole goal of the holidays? For you to spend money from advertisers, big money. So they're coming for you, and their whole goal is to get you to buy it. So how do you get to buy it? Is you shame someone, you guilt them, or you make them think everybody else is doing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Peer pressure.
Just be aware of that. So you just reframe it.
This is our modern day peer pressure. I am 36 and still having peer pressure from social media and advertisements and all the things.
So just so say what it is. This is X, but look at all the benefits of holding this boundary. You got that. Okay. One thing that works for me, I was going to share, and I've told Whitney about this, a brain dump. So especially we say for moms, just in general, especially newborn period, pregnancy period. Like we get really kind of feeling overwhelmed, scared. Mom brain, they love to say.
Oh, yeah.
So to make lists help me, to let it all at the end of the day, to process, to just lay it out. And that's also a good way that if you have your partner to say, hey, did you know that little Johnny has 6 Christmas activities with the school and church? I need to bring 15 dozen cookies for everybody in this. Yeah. Or like, I need to do this and that.
Yeah.
And sometimes seeing it, you can kind of say, what do I need to do now? Yeah. What can be later? And what's some things I don't have to do?
Exactly. Yeah. So prioritize what is coming up soon. It's like a deadline.
Yep.
For example, okay, so if this is like beginning of December, okay, I need to have X amount of cookies for the church get together. Okay, well then the class party isn't until December 15th. Okay, cool. I can wait until that Monday to buy cupcakes. That way they have them on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so like for us, December, I mean, for everybody, December is a very busy month. It just happens.
Yeah.
And so I hate to say it like this, like we've had some friends invite us to their wedding in the beginning of December. Well, lo and behold, we already had a family Christmas. So we had to say no to the wedding.
Yeah.
I hate it because we would like to be there to send our support and love and all the things. But
it's just not reality sometimes.
It's not reality, and it's okay that we say no. Mm-hmm. It's never a personal attack.
I think that's a big point.
Yeah, it's okay not a personal attack.
No, and it's not an at that person.
No, not at all. Because if we didn't have a family get together, we would probably go, but it's not feasible for us. I'm working on not feeling guilty for that because I know, okay, we need to go be with extended family.
Yeah. So it's okay to say no. It's okay to prioritize your list of things and get done. I heard this great example. It's like we all have all these balls we're juggling, right? You got to figure out which one's bounce and which one's breaks.
Yep.
Us moms and our mental health, our kids, our support system, our spouses, our partners, they break.
Yeah.
Now, if you get Publix cookies versus homemade cookies,
nobody knows.
No one knows. If you have pickup delivery,
and if they do know, I don't care. Shoot.
Who cares?
Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah.
I highly recommend the Publix mini chocolate cupcakes for anybody.
Yeah.
I think they're better than any.
I was about to say, I love me some Publix cakes.
So and that's an important point. Outsource, be resourceful, work smarter, not harder. Don't carry this burden of like everything has to be homemade, everything has to be perfect.
Well, and I do think COVID, in a sense, has almost made that a little bit better, where people
Stores have stepped up, restaurants stepped up.
Well, and I think schools prefer
instead of homemade
store-bought because it seems more sanitary.
And allergies. Exactly. A lot of times it's easier because they all list the allergy ingredients. And that's hard and challenging for allergy moms.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I think COVID really helped in that sense.
Yeah.
So it's okay that you go by Walmart, Publix, Kroger, whatever your grocery store is, and pick up the pre-made cupcakes, cookies, brownies, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No. The last one, I think, and moms are probably like, oh, yes, it's coming, is our kids are all going to go on a break. So if you have newborn and stuff, and that's, it can feel, you're home, if you're on maternity leave or whatever, and, daycare's closed, school's closed.
Yeah.
What do we do with our kids to maintain our sanity?
Well, just realize your sanity is probably not going to be at full capacity.
Yes.
So just go ahead and have your expectations lower.
And your tolerance.
Tolerance is going to be lower. Expectations are lower. That's okay. Mm-hmm. Got to meet yourself where you're at kind of thing. So, but figure out too, are there fun things that you want to do with your kids? Incorporate those fun activities in there. But if you feel yourself just like, I can't get ahead, I can't get everything done that I need to get done, and you can even say, okay, I have such low patience right now. I cannot handle this.
Know your triggers.
But even then, It's okay if you step away from your kids for a minute to get a breather.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, something that's been super helpful is like little dance parties, and your kids love it.
You know, I literally yesterday turned on Shake It Off by Taylor Swift.
Heck yeah.
And me and the boys shook it off. And it actually, like, I was seeing something, like, when you shake your body, it does something to, like, actually your mind.
Yeah. It actually kind of regulates our central nervous system.
For our kids need this too.
Oh, absolutely.
Or I saw this one meme. It was on Instagram. The mom was just, like, laying on the floor. But it was, like, grounding herself. Yeah. And she had the kids, and they're, like, they pretended, I think it was around Halloween, they pretended to be, like, zombies or something.
How funny.
And they laid, and then they rose up.
Yeah.
And she's like, they don't know I'm grounding myself.
Yeah.
Because of them. But I need it.
Yeah. That's okay.
So
even if you did tell them that, I mean, they're learning.
They're learning how, because it's like, no one taught me this.
Please.
Except for Whitney coming in now. And so now we're here to tell you guys, we need tools. But this is going to be a challenging season.
It is, and that's okay. We can call it for what it is.
But we're going to make it through it.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it.
This too shall pass.
Listen, if you guys want more certain event or targeted things, like, give me a tool for this, send it to us.
Yes.
DM us, follow us on Instagram, Preview Alliance Podcast and Preview Alliance. Guys, we'll be back with more holiday series because you know we got to give you more.
Yeah, we do.
All right, till next time.
See ya.
Maternal mental health is as important as physical health. The Preview Alliance podcast was created for and by moms dealing with postpartum depression and all its variables like anxiety, anger, and even apathy. Hosted by CEO, founder Sarah Parkhurst and licensed clinical social worker Whitney Gay, each episode focuses on specific issues relevant to pregnancy and postpartum. Join us and hear how other moms have overcome mental health challenges, as well as access tips and suggestions on dealing with your own challenges as moms. You can also browse our podcast library and listen to previous episodes at any time. Please know you're not alone on this journey. We're here to help.